Hi, come with me as I reset my life after that winter of a month. Today, I realized something beautiful. I was living in oceans of answered prayers. Every single utensil I owned, every little aesthetic, evening routine, every new experience I get, the little me sat for hours and hours imagining. She sat and thought of scenario after scenario. She pictured each aspect of my current day with a deep longing, and I found myself breathing a little easier when I remember. Hapo nilikuwa na unpack tote bag, nilikuwa nimefanya shopping kidogo for the week, guys. Nikaenda class the next day. I found this cat. It was peeing, very displeased with me, by the way. Isiku nilikuwa nimepika pilau, guys. Yeah, so nikaamua nikule when I was waiting for my lab lesson. Yeah, why not? So I was looking for inspo in my old journal when I found much more in the words I jotted down. She wanted this life so bad, and I was nearly switching to default mode, nearly giving people who aren't present when I wrote those prayers more power than they deserve. I have exams coming up, my tokens are about to run out, and I have a bad cold, guy. Kama uja notice, niko na homa, guys. Naturally, this would have been a bad day, but I find myself submerged in gratitude. I find myself in overwhelming joy, honestly. I silently vowed to stop complaining when I get home tired and I have to cook, because to her, it's I get to cook. You get, I'll pause when I feel like giving school half energy, because she sat there and pictured herself using a laptop the way I do now. Guys, acha niwaambie nilikuwa nakaa chini na jaribu kufikiria, what are you guys typing all that time? But here I am right now, wondering when will I stop typing? It's honestly such a beautiful thing to realize. I think we have watched too many movies and read so many fantasy books and seen so many realities on social media that we often suppress actual breakthroughs in our real lives. By the way, we see these big house tours and traveling individuals and multi-millionaires that are buying cars and Lamborghinis, that you buying a new yoga mat doesn't even feel worth the joy. But I refuse to keep living that way, because honestly, I can't be nonchalant when I sat on the floor scraping every last coin. Yo help lazima ingenunua yo yoga mat. I swear I had to buy that yoga mat, and I strained my finances so much, nika cut costs just to buy a yoga mat. And kwa TikTok, everybody has about 6 of them. To me, this specific one was special. And if I go with everyone else's standard, I can't celebrate it. But honestly, kila time na yonanga na feeling joy, have I used it as much? Not yet. We are going to work on that. But it's there, guys. Nikitaka kufanya exercise, I have a yoga mat. Is it a big deal? Maybe not. If you're a working class human being, probably rolling your eyes right now what do you mean a yoga mat? But it's that serious. Whatever it is, whatever your yoga mat is, it deserves recognition. You deserve to appreciate the things that you worked towards, no matter how small, no matter how insignificant it is to the current world. To you, it's something beautiful. To you, it's something worth stressing a week, a day, a whole night for. So come on, give yourself some appreciation. You know what I mean. Yeah, so hapa natengeneza breakfast. Nilikuwa nimeenda kwa duka asubuhi. Yeah, I wake up before the sun. Nikaenda kwa mshayo shopkeeper, nikimwambia yo umefunga mlango, nipe na nimkatea 30 bob. Anyways, yeah, bless him for bringing us such things. So nibuy mkate. I think I was making tea. I'm not sure which tea this I was making caramel tea na mkate, na it was avocado toast with eggs. Yeah, so I did that kidogo kidogo hapa. This is the next morning after a very busy day previously. Nilikuwa na classes mob sana, so I just woke up. If you can see the puffiness, guys, release me, yo. I have one sink, so like skincare kidogo inasumbua. So anyway, yeah, that's what I'm doing there. I feel like mkate yenye jakatwa makes me feel so bougie. Like, what do you mean? I cut my own bread. Sorry. Yeah, that's literally what was going through my mind right there. I was like, Akokoval, hello, stop. So hapo the previous day nilikamka mapema, nikaenda shule. Then the class, I really didn't understand anything I was learning there, but I think nilikuwa na burnout keep learning. That was such a busy week. The reset is genuinely needed. Maji ilikuwa imepotea for a while because I think supplier walikuwa wamepanda notice and there was no water for a while. So I had just washed my clothes like the previous day also. I was changing sheets because mi nikilala kwa sheet like a week nasikianga nishaanza like usingizi inapungua by the night. I just have to change them. I don't know about anyone else. For me, every week I just have to. Nikamalizana na hapo, besti yangu kuja kunipigia mshane. So this day I think I was home all day. So this was my slow morning, at least a proper breakfast for once. Justice for comrades, guys. Unatuwekeaje class asubuhi? Like now, me na high schoolers tunang'ang'ania math. Like, I'll go serious. You cannot be serious. Kautaki kazi class rep, rudi kwenu, cause 7 a.m. on a Monday. Anyways, tulikubali. We moved on very swiftly. Something I'd like to say is God listens. I know like everyone has something to say about religion and its cons right now. I don't really know much about those, but what I can say is I do know that he listens. Like, as I went through my journal from high school and the period after high school, I saw how much he really listens. Like, okay, let me feed into like your delusion kidogo. Like, journaling works. Not only like if it's prayer journaling, which by the way, I don't think we give enough credit, because like writing it down makes it so real. I think a worldly approach of it is usually manifesting. That's what we do with Pinterest boards, which is right. Like, we can do those at the same time, but there's so much more power in doing these things, but with the Holy Spirit in the background. Like, there's so much more benefit when you do these things like with Jesus there. I take journaling so serious. I have about like a whole box of journals from God knows when, and every single time I'm passing through it and I pass and I find a prayer, I find myself ticking each and every sentence. It's almost like diabolical. Like, I cannot understand how a very small fragment of my sentence could have been such a big deal to God that he listens to me saying I want color-coded utensils. And low-key, I'm judging myself because I have so many green utensils, but I wanted that. Like, when I used to sit down and fantasize about university, hello, high schoolers, I would think about all this aesthetic, watu wa majuu naonanga, and I was like, okay, probably I know I won't get that here, but the closest thing I can go to, whether you can actually, that was just my mindset back then, but I'm just saying, I was like, I know I won't get like a fancy ride on those buses at London to my classes every day, but my version of it, I want to make it beautiful, like kabisa. And God listens to like the most childish aspirations. He really does, and he makes it so much better than you think he would. You could forget, but not him. Me, honestly, nilikuwa nimesahau. Like, I've reached the last day when I was at home before I moved to like huku side ya shule, and I realized the prayer I wrote down, like 90% of it is already answered. Like, how beautiful is that? Anyway, so if anything, this video aims to reach out to you in that cloud of familiarity, the comfort zone where you don't really dream anymore. You lost the passion for what you once longed for. Find your journal. I don't mean a literal journal. Find something that brings into full perspective exactly why this meant as much as it did in the first place. For you to give out like so much of your time, for you to give out so much dedication, for you to be as passionate as you are to reach where you have reached in this particular place, you have to have had a goal, something why it meant that much. Like, if it was not something that you actually treasured, I don't think you would get as far as you have. So just think about it. So hapa tunakula supper. We were eating supper at a joint that we love going to. Tulikuwa tunakula ugali nyama, I presume, I think so. Venye nimefurahi hivyo walai, nyama. The stuff, the ugali ameweka hapo ni mingi. I don't know why that's the only thing I put in frame, but watch me chop it away. Like, I think I finished, siko sure, but nilikuwa njaa. It called on us, like tulikuwa tunapita hapo nje, then we were like, I think it's time. Yeah, but having people who are worth having a conversation over meals with, people worth like sleeping late on call with, people who are worth taking airplanes for, this is such a gift. There are people who live to the end of their days without ever finding such intimacy, without ever finding such grounding connections. If you have friends worth checking up on, check up on them. Don't take things for granted, guys. Like, genuinely, life can change in the blink of an eye. Your parents aren't there forever. Oh, I wish they were. But call them, call your friends. You have that pet for a reason. Like, I don't know, love. Like, just love fully. It doesn't mean you ignore your boundaries and your cues, but it also doesn't mean that you cannot put yourself in any uncomfortable situation for anyone other than yourself. Like, people are worth love. Love is worth a chance. Church has so much love. School has so much love. Home has so much love. If you give it the chance, if you give it the opportunity, you have so much love for yourself if you give yourself the opportunity. So stay safe, stay sane, just stay, guys. Like, mnaenda mnaniacha huku peke yangu alafu nawapenda. Have a lovely evening. Bye.